Hey guys, so I had found a little patch of amanitas the other day, and of course I just went bonkers over it. Even found a little two-sock moth caterpillar that was just hitching a ride on my leg, and of course I took advantage of that and put them on some mushrooms and took some pictures and started studying the mushrooms to figure out what they were, took some pictures, asked my friends, and we have definitely come to the conclusion that they are Amanita Novinupta. There's actually a couple different types of this particular mushroom. It's a blusher, meaning that it stains red. There's the Amanita Novinupta here in California along the west coast. There's also Amanita rubescens, which it used to be called, but it's certainly a distinct species, and the rubescens is found on the east coast. And apparently they're bigger, they're more stately, they're tastier. These ones apparently not so much. So let's get down into this and let's figure out how we can identify the Amanita Novinupta. All right, so down here we have the Novinupta. Now that's the Latin term, nova meaning new, nupta meaning bride. Some people call it the blushing bride. Now, even though the mushroom stains red, or rather, I should say a dullish red, it doesn't turn red like Amanita muscaria, this nice bright red. It's a dullish red, almost a pinkish, and you won't see it for a long time. It takes hours to bruise that color. So instead, what you do is you want to try and find damage that it sustained prior. Look on the stalk, oftentimes you'll see the pink to dull reddish around the base. And the thing about the Novinupta is that it doesn't really have a vulva. In fact, the egg sac pretty much just goes away. You can see some remnants of a skirt here. The partial veil that used to cover the gills had come down. Now, why don't we take a look for some maggot holes, oftentimes found in the stipe of the mushroom. For lucky, okay, so you see here, all that is the red blushing portion. You see there's some pink tinge here. I'm not seeing any active maggots on here. Oh, I'm sorry, I am. Excuse me. If you can, if the camera will pick it up, we have a lot of maggot activity, in fact. And so that really helps us see the red blushing, and that is a telltale sign of the blushing species of Amanita. Now, what I like to do is I want it to propagate, so instead of just throwing it on the ground, I'll stick it between some sturdy sticks, so that way the spores can continue to propagate. The spore print for the Novinupta is white, and like I said, it is edible, but it can be confused with other species. There is the false blusher, which it really resembles the Novinupta, except that one key characteristic is that it does not blush, hence false blusher.
The blushing within the stalk isn't always as apparent as with our last example. As you can see here, it's quite minor compared. This next sample shows a clear salmon color base, and as we open it up, we're going to look for some maggot damage, and lo and behold, there is actually none. However, a nice tinge of pink still runs down the center. The average cap is typically white and light brown with plenty of flaky warts on top. However, that's not always the case. Our previous example here was collected after a night of heavy rainfall. The cap had sustained a lot of heavy hits from large drops from being underneath an oak tree. This photograph was taken prior to harvesting and shows just how much a good rainstorm can change the coloration of the Novinupta. The salmon color bruising has really taken over most of the white, and almost all the flakes are practically washed away. The Novinupta is common and can be found all year round. They inhabit our woods and make mycorrhizal relationships with oak roots. Here is a 360 view of the blusher. What key identifiers do you pick up on?
So thanks for coming out here and joining me to check out yet another Amanita during the springtime. I'll see you guys later.